Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. Today, we're plunging into an industry that, well, it really touches everyone's daily lives in a super personal way. Think about, the spaces you call home, the items that bring you comfort or maybe joy that reflect your personality. We're talking about the global decorative accessories market. And our source material for this exploration, we're pulling key insights directly from the Global Decorative Accessories Market Outlook 2021-2033. It's by Cognitive Market Research. So our mission for this deep dive is really to unpack the sheer scale, the surprising projections, and the underlying currents that define this thriving global industry. We'll be covering every major region, key countries, and its future outlook right through 2033. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, it's truly remarkable when you actually start to think about just how pervasive decorative accessories are. I mean, from a subtle photo frame to, I don't know, a statement piece of wall art, these items shape our environments, often subtly, but they do it globally. It might seem like just a collection of small individual purchases, but you put them all together, collectively they represent an astonishingly large and influential market worldwide.
And astonishingly large is right. I mean, this market, which directly impacts how we feel in our own homes, it's valued at a truly colossal sum. Can you give us the big picture here? What's the overall value and where's it headed?
Absolutely. So the global decorative accessories market back in 2021 was valued at over $363 billion. That's
Mhm.
billion with a B.
Mm.
And the projections, they're quite impressive. It's expected to climb to around 453 billion by 2025,
Huh.
and then even more striking, over $703 billion by 2033.
Wow, over 700 billion.
Exactly. And that represents a steady global compound annual growth rate, or CAGR, of about 5.66%.
Okay, 5.66%.
What's fascinating here, I think, is that a consistent CAGR of nearly 6% for a market already in the hundreds of billions and sustained over more than a decade, that signifies incredibly robust, really enduring consumer interest. This isn't just, some fleeting trend. It suggests a fundamental growing desire among people worldwide to really invest in their living spaces, their personal environments.
That strong, consistent growth, yeah, across such a massive market really sets the stage. But the real story, the thing that makes this deep dive so interesting, is how this growth plays out, well, unevenly across the globe. Think of it like a global relay race, which regions are absolutely sprinting ahead, what's driving their pace. Here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay, well, Asia Pacific, without a doubt, is the fastest growing engine in this market, hands down. The report projects its market value to more than double. It jumps from roughly $119 billion in 2021 to an estimated $246 billion by 2033. And that comes with a CGR over 6%, 6.246% to be precise.
That's incredible growth. So, within that really dynamic region, who are the key players? Any standout stories?
Well, China is clearly dominating. It's projected to basically double its market to over $75 billion by 2033. But the real highlight, maybe, and perhaps a sign of future trends, is India. It's specifically marked as a high-growth country. It has a remarkable 8% CAGR, over 8%.
8% in India. Wow.
Yeah, it's set to almost triple its market value from around $19 billion to nearly $48 billion. This explosive growth in India is likely driven by, a burgeoning middle class, rapid urbanization creating new homes,
Hmm.
and also a strong cultural emphasis on, well, beautifying living spaces. Japan, South Korea, and Australia are also contributing significantly, of course. And it's worth noting Singapore actually shows the highest individual CAGR in the region, about 6.784%.
Yeah.
So that indicates a real concentrated burst of activity in that smaller market.
Okay, so while Asia Pacific is setting a blistering pace, Europe still represents a very significant, steadily growing piece of this pie. When you look at the European data, are there any particular standouts there? Or maybe broader trends defining its contribution?
Europe definitely holds a solid position. It's growing from about, let's see, $104.6 billion in 2021 to an anticipated $192 billion by 2033. That comes with a CAGR around 5.2%, so a bit slower than APAC, but still very strong.
Right.
What's notable here is the consistent, maybe slower, but definite expansion in these mature economies. Countries like Germany, France, the UK, they're substantial contributors. Germany's projected to reach over $35 billion, France nearly $29 billion by 2033. But interestingly, Italy actually boasts a stronger CGR, closer to 5.8%, almost
Wow,
5.76%.
interesting. Italy.
Yeah, suggesting a particular vibrancy in its market, maybe tied to its strong design and aesthetic traditions, perhaps. We also see steady growth in places like Russia and Spain, hitting around $20 billion and $16 billion, respectively. It really shows that the desire for decorative items is pretty pervasive across the continent. And you've got others too, Sweden, Denmark, Switzerland, even Luxembourg showing solid numbers.
Okay, let's shift over to North America. We're seeing steady expansion there too, right? What are the key takeaways from the North American market? Are there any interesting differences between the countries?
North America is definitely a major player. It's expected to grow from roughly $89 billion in 2021 to over $161 billion by 2033. The CAGR there is just over 5%, about 5.07%. Now, while the United States predictably makes up the lion's share of that revenue projected to reach nearly $138 billion.
Right, that makes sense.
What's truly striking is Canada's remarkably strong CAGR. It's over 7.3%.
Wow, 7.3% for Canada. That's much higher than the US rate.
Exactly. Canada is growing significantly faster than the U.S. in this sector. It's set to more than double its market to over $20 billion. This difference, this variance, could hint at unique demographic shifts maybe, or a particularly strong home renovation trend up north, or maybe just distinct consumer preferences in Canada. It's definitely something worth digging into. Mexico, on the other hand, shows slower but still consistent growth, around 2.5% CAGR, reaching about $3 billion by 2033.
Okay, that Canada number is really interesting. Now let's turn our attention to what the report groups as emerging markets. We're talking South America, the Middle East, and Africa. These seem to be areas demonstrating significant future growth potential. What's the picture like there?
Yeah, these regions are certainly ones to watch closely. South America, for instance, is forecast to nearly double its market. It goes from around $25 billion in 2021 to just under $50 billion by 2033. That's a solid 5.85% CAGR.
And within South America?
Brazil leads the way in total value, expected to hit almost $21 billion. But interestingly, Argentina and Colombia are both growing faster at over 6.3% CAGR each. So there's strong regional dynamism there, reaching over $10 billion and $7.5 billion respectively.
Okay, and the Middle East?
The Middle East also shows robust expansion. It jumps from approximately $15 billion in 2021 to over $31 billion by 2033. Here, Egypt is the real standout in terms of growth rate. It boasts the highest regional CAGR at almost 7%, 6.993%.
Egypt at nearly 7%.
Yeah, it's a testament probably to its growing consumer base and changing lifestyles. It goes from under $2 billion to over $4 billion. But you've also got other strong performers.
Yeah.
The UAE is actually even higher at 7.6%, Turkey at 6.3%, Saudi Arabia also around 6.3%. It reflects, significant investment in new construction and a rising demand for personalized living spaces.
Makes sense. And finally, Africa.
And Africa is projected to more than double its market size as well. It climbs from about $10 billion in 2021 to over $21 billion by 2033. Key contributions there come from South Africa, going from about $3 billion to $7 billion.
Yeah.
And Nigeria, which is actually the larger market there, going from about $5 billion to over $10.5 billion.
Okay, so Nigeria is quite significant then.
Absolutely. And, if we connect this all back to the bigger picture, what these regional breakdowns really show us is the incredibly widespread nature of this growth. It's happening across incredibly diverse economies, established markets in Europe and North America, yes, but also rapidly expanding ones in Asia-Pacific, South America, the Middle East, and Africa. This isn't just some localized phenomenon driven by one type of consumer or culture. It really highlights that the desire for decorative accessories is, well, it's a truly global consumer trend. It seems to transcend geographical and economic boundaries.
That distinction feels crucial. Okay, so digging a bit deeper then, what does this widespread growth across such diverse economies ultimately tell us about the underlying desires shaping consumer behavior globally? So what does this all mean? What are the core drivers behind such robust and widespread global growth in decorative accessories?
Well, the source material actually synthesizes it quite well. It says the decorative accessories market is undergoing a significant transformation due to steady growth across developed and emerging economies. The core drivers are clearly identified as, rising consumer interest in home aesthetics, regional market expansions, and increased urbanization.
Right, aesthetics, expansion, urbanization.
Exactly. And this raises an important question, doesn't it? How do these factors collectively underpin the projected robust growth through 2033?
Well, it seems to be a really powerful combination. Think about it. As more people move into urban areas globally, and that's a huge trend, they're often creating new living spaces, which then need furnishing and decorating. So this urbanization trend creates a sort of foundational demand.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. And then simultaneously, there's this universal rise in the appreciation for personalizing and, beautifying those spaces. That's the home aesthetics component. People are increasingly seeing their homes not just as, functional dwellings, but as extensions of their identity. places for comfort, maybe even expressions of status or personal style. This heightened interest fuels continuous demand, really across all price points.
And the regional expansion part.
Right, and finally, as these regional markets mature and expand, you get improved distribution channels, maybe rising disposable incomes in some areas. All this makes these accessories more accessible to a much broader consumer base. So it becomes a bit of a cyclical effect. Demand drives market expansion, which then makes it easier to meet demand, which fuels more demand. And that creates this consistent, really impressive growth trajectory we're seeing projected.
So the core takeaway from this deep dive seems pretty clear then. The global decorative accessories market isn't just growing, it's booming. And it reflects a significant ongoing shift in how people view and invest in their living spaces right across the globe. It really highlights the value, I think, of looking beyond just the headlines to understand the true dynamics of a market that, let's face it, touches almost everyone. Which leads to a final thought. Considering the sheer scale here, billions upon billions of dollars being spent on making spaces beautiful, what does this ongoing global fascination with home aesthetics truly reflect about our changing priorities? And maybe even the very definition of home in the 21st century? It's definitely a thought-provoking idea to consider as you look around your own space. Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into something fascinating, the global decorative accessories market. It's always changing.
It really is.
Our mission here is to unpack this whole vibrant industry. We're using insights from a great report by Cognitive Market Research. It's all about the market's trends and dynamics,
Mm-hmm.
making our spaces feel like us, personalizing them. It feels like more than just a trend now. It's almost fundamental.
Yeah.
And this deep dive should uncover some of the forces, maybe some surprising ones, behind that feeling.
Exactly. It's not just about, what looks good on Pinterest.
Right.
We want to dig into why we choose certain things for our homes. What does it actually say about us? About bigger shifts in how we live.
Yeah.
It's interesting how aesthetics can mirror these deeper societal changes.
Okay, so if personalization is the big why, then let's talk about the how. What's really pushing the demand for, well, everything from vases to wall art?
Mm-hmm.
The report really flags increasing urbanization and more people owning homes as key drivers. Foundational shifts, really. Right.
So more people moving to cities, buying homes maybe for the first time, and straight away there's this need, this urge to make that space their own.
And what's interesting there, the report notes this too, it's not just about needing more stuff because you have a new place.
Mm.
It seems that even if urban spaces are smaller, the average spend per item can actually go up.
Ah, so quality over quantity.
Kind of. It suggests people might be investing in fewer pieces, but maybe they're higher quality or more statement pieces, making every object really count in a smaller space.
That makes total sense. Every inch counts for expressing yourself. Okay, now, speaking of where we get ideas, this one's massive. Social media.
Oh, yeah. Undeniable.
Instagram, Pinterest.
Yeah.
They're not just mood boards anymore, are they? They feel like they're actively shaping what we want our homes to look like, our aspirations.
And it's not just the inspiration itself. Something else to consider is the speed.
The speed. Yeah, how quickly trends cycle on social media. You see a new aesthetic, it blows up, then something else comes along. This constant flow might actually be shortening the life cycle for decor items.
Like fast fashion, but for your living room.
Sort of. It creates this subtle pressure maybe to keep up, which could fuel more frequent buying. Home decor becomes really dynamic, almost seasonal in a way.
Wow. Okay. And then there's actually getting these items. E-commerce, that's completely changed the game, hasn't it?
Absolutely. It's transformed accessibility. You're not limited to what's in local shops anymore.
You can browse global catalogs, compare prices, click, buy, done.
And the tech is getting smarter. The report talks about things like augmented reality, AR.
Oh, right, where you can see the item in your room on your phone.
Exactly. You can virtually place that lamp or that artwork in your space before you buy it.
Yeah.
That's not just convenient. It really reduces the guesswork, maybe cuts down on returns.
Less buyer's remorse.
Precisely. And it speeds up the whole decision process. Huge for online sales.
Okay, so those are some powerful forces pushing the market forward. Urbanization, social media, e-commerce. But let's look at the flip side. It can't all be smooth sailing and perfect Instagram shots.
No, definitely not. There are significant headwinds, as the report calls them.
Right, like price sensitivity. especially, it seems, in developing regions.
Yes, that's a major factor. It's about the economic perspective. In many parts of the world, decorative items are still seen very much as non-essential. Luxuries, even.
So nice to have, but not a priority if budgets are tight.
Exactly. It limits how often people in middle or lower income groups might buy these things.
Mm,
So you get this split market where desire is there, but disposable income is the gatekeeper.
makes sense. And then there are growing environmental concerns. People are thinking more about materials, right? Especially plastic.
hmm Consumers are definitely becoming more cautious. That awareness about non-biodegradable materials, plastic-heavy decor,
Oh,
it's not just a small group anymore.
it's mainstream now.
It is. And it's forcing brands to really look hard at their supply chains, their materials, their whole design philosophy.
It feels like part of a bigger shift, doesn't it?
Absolutely. This isn't just a challenge for the decor market. It reflects that wider global move towards sustainability. People are holding brands accountable.
They want transparency.
Yes, and they're looking for circular options, even for something simple like a picture frame.
Hmm.
And the report does suggest, interestingly, that people are increasingly willing to pay a bit more for eco-friendly choices.
Okay, and one more challenge, especially in, say, North America or Europe.
Mm.
Developed markets. High saturation, just loads of brands selling similar stuff.
Yeah, fragmentation is the word the report uses. It means fierce competition.
Everyone's fighting for attention.
Right. And when products start to look alike, it often leads to pressure on prices, thinner profit margins. It's tough.
So brands have to get creative to stand out.
They really do. It pushes them beyond just making things look good.
Yeah.
We're seeing innovation in business models like decor subscription boxes, maybe personalized styling advice, things like that. Anything to offer unique value and, well, stay relevant.
Okay, so despite those hurdles, price issues, environment, competition, there are still some really exciting things happening. New
Yeah.
directions,
Yeah.
trends emerging.
Definitely. And often these trends are responses to the challenges.
Like the demand for sustainable and handcrafted decor, that seems huge.
It really is. What's fascinating is this return to maybe more conscious buying. People value authenticity. They want to know where things come from. They like eco-friendly materials.
So recycled stuff, locally sourced.
Exactly. And artisan-made pieces, handmade items, things with a story.
Hmm.
It feels like a counter movement to just mass-produced everything. A desire for a deeper connection, maybe.
Yeah, I get that. Another interesting habit the report mentions is seasonal decorating or theme-based. People refreshing their space, not just for the big holidays like Christmas,
Yeah.
but for seasons, maybe Diwali, other occasions, or even just because they feel like a change.
It suggests a more dynamic relationship with our homes, doesn't it?
Yeah, like decor isn't just static, set it and forget it.
Right. It evolves with the calendar, with our lives, our moods. And for brands, of course, this creates a regular cycle of potential sales if they can tap into it.
Consistent engagement. Okay, and finally, tech. Technology integrating with aesthetics. Things aren't just pretty anymore, they're getting smart.
hmm We're seeing more of this blend. Smart lighting that looks like art, vases with built-in LEDs, Bluetooth speakers disguised as sculptures.
Form meets function, but like really blended.
Exactly. And the report suggests that tech-savvy consumers, particularly younger people, are really driving this. They expect things to be connected, multifunctional.
It does raise a question though, doesn't it? As tech gets smaller, more seamless, almost invisible, how do our homes balance the look and the function? What even counts as decorative in the future? Will your smart display just be wall art?
That's a great question. It really blurs the lines between aesthetics, utility, and connectivity. It's an exciting space to watch.
So wrapping this up, the global decorative accessories market, it's clearly very dynamic, complex, but also really vibrant.
Absolutely.
It's being shaped by so many things, how we live in cities, what
Yeah.
we see online, our values around sustainability.
And what's clear from the cognitive market research findings is that brands aren't just sitting back. They're adapting. They're innovating with design, with materials, with tech.
Trying to keep pace with our evolving ideas about our personal spaces.
Exactly. Ensuring the market keeps growing by reflecting what we want our homes to be.
Okay, so thinking about everything we've covered,
Mm.
that deep need to personalize, the sheer power of social media visuals, the big push for sustainability, and tech creeping into everything.
Mm.
It makes you wonder, right? What do you think is next? What's the next truly groundbreaking decorative accessory that, suddenly everyone needs in their home? How are our living spaces going to keep changing as all these trends smash together? Something to think about.
Definitely something to ponder.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.